Hey everybody, it's Elvin Freitas, co-founder of the EdUp Experience. And hopefully you know by now that we have started our subscription-based model where we have original content, bonus content, get invites to special events. So right now it's $2.99 a month, and as of January 1st, 2025, it's going to go up to $19.99 a month. So go to edupexperience.com, edupexperience.com, look for subscribe now to lock in that lifetime EdUp Experience founders rate. $2.99 a month, edupexperience.com. Look for subscribe.
Now listen up.
Because Insights EDU 2025 is coming, and this is the conference you don't want to miss. Meet us February 12th through 14th in New Orleans for one of our favorite higher education marketing and enrollment management events of the year. Imagine 3 days packed with actionable insights and the latest innovations in higher ed. We're talking top industry experts, real-world case studies, and hands-on workshops designed to help you grow your programs, boost engagement, and elevate your student experience. This is your chance to hear the latest higher ed trends from speakers at Google, Reddit, Meta, MIQ Digital, and schools across the country. Mark your calendars, get your team, and get ready to welcome the era of the modern learner at Insights EDU 2025. Register now at insightsedu.com and secure your spot. We'll see you there.
Attention.
Registration is now open for the Middle States Commission on Higher Education 2024 Annual Conference, Protecting the Future, Champions for Higher Education, December 11th through 13th, 2024 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Don't miss out. Register today at msche.org/annual-conference or head to msche.org and click on the conference link. I'll see you there.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your time to EdUp on the EdUp Experience podcast, where we make education your business. This is Dr. Joe Salustio back with you on another episode. Somebody asked me recently if I will ever stop podcasting. And I thought about it for a little while. We're on like episode 900 and crazy, 900 something. And this is what I decided to tell the audience.
You'll have to kill me to be finished with me.
So we're going to do this forever. We're going to do this forever here at the EdUp Experience because there is a continual stream of people that have something to say about teaching and learning. And the only way we get better as educators is to make sure that we innovate. And so we bring innovators to the microphone from all across the world, all across different platforms, different technologies, serving different industries. And I've got somebody here with me today that's going to give us another new perspective on teaching and learning. Let's get him in right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's Roy de Vries. He is a learning innovator, or the learning innovator at aNewSpring. Roy, what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Joe.
Where are you, Roy? Where in the world are you?
I am currently having a beautiful view over Rotterdam, a beautiful in the Netherlands. Yeah, we're on the
What time is it over there? It's got to be nighttime, yeah?
No, it's end of day, so it's 5:00 in the afternoon.
And
so you drinks.
And you did, yeah. So it's time for drinks, right? So you decided to spend the remainder of your day here with the EdUp Experience right before you go out.
Yeah, and a glass of water. But cheers.
We don't know if that's water or vodka. Let's be honest.
Cheers.
Anyway, tell us about aNewSpring. Let's start there. Where did this company start? Where is it founded? Where does it operate from? And what do you do? A lot of questions in there. Just take whatever way you want.
Yeah, sure. So we started about 20 years ago as the memo trainer. So who are still my colleagues, Martin and René. They founded the company because they both had challenges. So Martin had dyslexia or has dyslexia, had trouble with learning, with language. And the other director of the company was a trainer himself, and he had issues with following people up in his training, with sending them emails and getting communication across. It was just a hassle. So they started the memo trainer together, which is currently a functionality within our platform. I'll talk a little bit about that later. And it's about space retention, making sure that people don't just have this one-off training, but that they spread learning out over time. That's what they started up with. And then they built this whole learning platform around it called aNewSpring. We help trainers and training providers to create didactically sound, good learning journeys with which they can support their training, albeit blended, online, using social learning, using adaptive learning. So all different kind of didactical models training providers can use to create a impactful course for their learners. And we support them with our technology, with our knowledge on learning, and with a big community of trainers and training providers that want to help people learn. So that's one of the most important things that we're trying to achieve.
Amazing. Talk a little bit about that. Learning journeys and training providers. When we talk about training providers, who are we talking about? Are we talking about colleges and universities? Are we talking about businesses who have their own training programs? Is there something else I'm not saying? And who are we talking about?
So it's interesting indeed, because in the Netherlands, you've got a big group of companies who are dedicated to creating training for adults. Can be in all different kinds of sectors. It's training providers who create training for medical healthcare professionals to educate them. It's for safety training. It's on, well, you name it. Every topic has people who have something to share, who have knowledge they want to bring to people who want to have the knowledge to get better at their jobs. And for those companies, people have knowledge. We want to create technology that makes sure that they help their people learn, because those people are not necessarily educators or teachers, or they haven't they haven't studied in university or somewhere else to become a teacher. They just have the knowledge as a subject matter expert. So we want to make sure that they have the tools to create an impactful course for their learners. Sure. And then in the States, it might be different, and in the UK as well, so all over the world. I'm not sure if what I'm saying now, if you have another word for it, could also be, of course.
Yeah. So no, you're right. So like in the US, of course, our colleges and universities try to partner with companies to offer credentials or trainings or whatever. And there are companies that do that on their own, or have some technology like aNewSpring behind them to offer those trainings. Whether it be, there's lots of them out there, but they're either an intermediary or between the university and the organization, or the technology that powers the training for the organization. And so you're really the technology that is powering the learning. As an organization says, we need to upskill our workforce. We need people who are continually learning or getting these skills, and we need to create engaging courses for them to grab these skills.
Exactly. And then you can use aNewSpring to create those courses. Yeah.
What makes it your learning innovator, right? And that I love that title, because it, like, there are those in the U.S. and abroad that I've talked to that no matter what you do, they don't want to innovate the learning. They believe that it is sound and therefore it should be the way it is. But if you get a title of learning innovator, I don't think you could ever stop. Like, everybody's always going to be looking to you to innovate, right? And what does that look like? What are you doing in your job all the time to keep yourself fresh on, this technology, or this way of learning, or artificial intelligence? I mean, there's a lot out there too.
Yeah, it's a little bit in semantics. So I took an innovation class a couple of months ago, actually, and that opened my eyes on what innovation actually is. So innovation is not necessarily coming up with new things all day, every day. Innovation is different for everyone, and it's doing something different than you did before. So if you, for example, when we talk about e-learning, online courses, if you create a course and it's content heavy, you just upload your slides and you expect your learners to look at those slides and to learn from them, right? That's your starting point. If you then add questions to it or break it up in chunks, that's already innovating for yourself, because you're progressing, you're making steps to improve your courses. So what I want to do is get across to people how people really learn, what makes a good e-learning, what makes a good online course, and then share that knowledge, share that inspiration with our community, with our customers, to make sure that they get inspired, they improve their training step by step. And of course, we've got training providers, different levels. You've got them which are top of the line. They've got using all the technology that you can use to really help people learn. They got all the major principles out there. They've got all the good didactical foundations. But you've also got the training providers that, like I just said, are the SMEs who are just, want to share their knowledge, but don't necessarily know how to do that. So, we're trying to target everyone and inspire them with new insights. And one of the things how we do that is by getting other learning professionals, or we call them learning pioneers, learning rock stars even, to get them to share their knowledge with us. So, for example, on Monday, Julie Dirksen was here. She wrote the book Design for How People Learn. She was here in Rotterdam to give a masterclass. But we also just came out of a session with Lauren Waldman, the learning pirate, who also had cool stuff to share about how the brain works and how you can apply that to learning. So, we know how learning works. We've got other people in our community that know how learning works. We want to make sure to give them a podium and just share our vision, share our story, and keep on innovating, keep on improving.
Now listen up. I love it. I love the continuous improvement. Talk about, I'm really interested because the same thing happens with employers in the United States. You just said it, like everybody's on a different part of the spectrum on how they want to upskill their workforce. Some just want to, regurgitate knowledge. Some are looking at teaching and learning and saying, how do we engage this workforce more effectively? Do you have to push employers and say, hey, look, this is what's out there. Let's try to take your content and make it more engaging? Or do the employers have their way of doing things and don't want to go down that road? Or is it a mixed bag?
It's a mixed bag. So for us, it's even a little bit different because you've got the employers, and those employers, they don't necessarily know a lot about learning, about teaching. So they go to the training company, say, hey, I've got this problem, I've got this issue, please provide half-day training for me. And then I am sure that my workforce will be skilled and ready for the future. So it's the training provider's job to really break down what are they trying to achieve and what's the best way to tackle that problem. And one of the solutions could be training, to have people in a classroom, in an online course, wherever, and make sure that they practice with specific skills or get specific content with knowledge in it. I think I try to help those training providers with not just creating a one-off, half-a-day training and then think, all right, so this is what I do. I go in, I go out, and that's it. But make them aware that, but make them aware that training and learning is more than just, getting content in your head for 3 hours and then leaving and then applying in practice. It's about practicing with it. It's about doing, depending on the skills you have, role play, simulations. It's about getting case studies, working together on specific problems. It's about spaced repetition. So there's these strategies, these theories that you can apply to make your training more effective and better, and make sure that your learners actually apply what you want them to learn.
What is space recognition? Enlighten us on what that concept. You said it twice, and I'm going, what is this exactly?
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm Dutch. I don't pronounce it properly.
Oh, no, it's great.
Spaced repetition. So it's repeating, and it means that, the Ebbinghaus curve. He was a researcher around the 1890s, something like that, and he did a research on himself, quite criticized, on himself, where he tried to learn 3-letter words, which aren't necessarily words, they're just 3 letters. So DLN, MBF, GHQ. And he had this whole list of these words. He learned them, he remembered all of them, and then he measured, all right, how much do I still remember after a day? And how much do I still remember after a week and after 2 weeks? And then he found, obviously, that the longer time progresses, the less he remembers. So that makes sense. One of the criticisms on his study is that it didn't make any sense. So those files, of course, they're difficult to remember because you cannot connect them to anything that you know and to anything that's relevant to you. So that's important to take into account. But still, in essence, if you don't repeat something over time, you'll certainly forget it. And definitely also in universities. I also blame myself. When I was in college, I studied for one night and then made the test, got a B- or whatever, and then I moved on. And now when I look back, I don't remember anything. So
same with me, man. Same with me.
Right?
Okay.
Everyone has the same. Yeah. So what we want to try is to make sure that if you create a training, that you space it over time. So not just at one moment, but then get back to the content a week later, and then tackle some other challenges, get back to some content a week later again. and then spread that out over a couple of weeks, couple of months, even depending on what you're trying to teach people. And then make sure by getting them practice with that content over and over again, that instead of having it in a short-term memory, every time they are encountered with that content again, they'll remember a little bit more and a little bit more until the point that they have remembered all the stuff that you want them to remember because they got it in a long-term memory because of that spaced repetition, spaced learning.
I mean, that's the way languages, I think, are taught, right? You have to learn this, and then you got to come back to it, and you've got to repeat it, and that's the way we learn languages.
Absolutely, yeah.
I would say that's the way other people learn languages. I apparently cannot learn to speak another language. I'm trying really hard. I'm going to start taking Spanish lessons. My wife speaks Italian. I speak vulgarities in English. That's pretty much all.
Vulgarities in English. Oh, that's a beautiful language. I like vulgarities.
Yeah, me too. What I will tell you...
Do you dive into the language? Because that's another question. I mean, you have the spaced repetition, but the other thing is that if you're not surrounded with that language, it's very difficult to learn it and to really get into it.
Yeah, and some comes back. I was just in Colombia, in Cartagena, Colombia, and I took Spanish in high school, and it's amazing how much you can pull out that you did. You repeated it, and then it went away for years, and then all of a sudden you're riding the bike again, and you go, oh, I couldn't remember what the word open in Spanish was, and it came to me in one moment because I needed it there. But that's the way we learn, and that's the important part of repetition. It's the important part of cycles, right? You're always continuing on this cycle. What do you think? Talk about the value proposition of aNewSpring. What sets you apart from other training providers? What's the technology like for somebody who wants to experience aNewSpring?
Hey everybody, it's Elvin Freitas, co-founder of the EdUp Experience. Hopefully you know by now that we have started our subscription-based model where we have original content, bonus content, get invites to special events. So right now it's $2.99 a month, and as of January 1st, 2025, it's going to go up to $19.99 a month. So go to edupexperience.com, edupexperience.com, look for subscribe now to lock in that lifetime EdUp Experience founders rate. $2.99 a month, edupexperience.com, look for subscribe.
Mark your calendars now for February 12th through 14th, because this is where we welcome the era of the modern learner and the most anticipated higher education marketing and enrollment management conference of the year. We're headed to New Orleans for Insights EDU 2025. This year's event is packed with speakers from companies like Google, Meta, Reddit, and MIQ Digital, and schools across the country. Ready to learn how AI is transforming the marketing landscape and how to adapt your programs to the preferences and demands of the modern learner? Then Insights EDU 2025 is where you need to be. Register now at insightsedu.com.
Attention.
Registration is now open for the Middle States Commission on Higher Education 2024 Annual Conference, Protecting the Future, Champions for Higher Education, December 11th through 13, 2024 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Don't miss out. Register today at msche.org/annual-conference. We'll see you there.
So a lot of people ask me when they're talking about learning technology, so are you an LMS or are you an LXP? What do you do? And I always say that we're neither. We're not an LMS because I feel that an LMS is focused like Blackboard, Moodle, Canvas, those kind of learning technologies. They're focused on the M of management, learning management system.
Yep.
They're there for the institution, for the teachers to make sure that the learning process as they think it should be works with the right deadlines and the right information and putting everything like the study guide out there. But we're not necessarily focused on those management functionalities. Then on the other hand, you have the LXPs, learning experience platforms, which are sort of dubbed as Netflix for learning. There's a big base of content, 4,000 courses. And if you clicked on a time management course once, the platform thinks that you're very interested into time management. They will recommend a lot of other time management courses to you because that's apparently what you think is relevant to you.
Right.
Because it works with labels. And they are more on the engagement and also with more gamification and user commenting, those kinds of things, which we are not necessarily either because we don't have this content base. We want to focus on the learner, so that sets us apart from an LMS, and we want to make sure they have a smooth didactically sound learning experience. So within our platform, you have the possibility to create a lot of activities that really help people with learning, like, for example, the quizzes, but also a lot of reflection activities, hand-in assignments in which you can work together with other people as well, video hand-in assignments to show that you have a certain skill, do a pitch, whatever you want to design as a training provider to make sure that you achieve your learning objectives. So I think the fact that we really focus on this learning journey, put the learner first, make sure that we have a lot of functionalities that help people with learning. So also, for example, the adaptive functionality, that sets us apart from other learning platforms because it's more focused on the learning part instead of just the management part.
Yeah, that's good, right? Because it allows you to really focus on the psychology of learning and not necessarily worrying about the consequence of that and the measure. Although you want to measure it, you get to focus on the psychology. You know, how do you keep these learners engaged and progressing through? And sometimes the learners don't have incentive to do that. You know, a company may say, we offer these things for you. You can go and do them. They're great courses. And then students don't, or workers don't do it.
Not out of themselves. Nope.
Yeah. How do you nudge? Do you have nudges built in? Do you have ways to keep that learner engaged? Say, hey, you know, man, woman, you haven't finished this course.
Person.
Person. You haven't finished this course. You got a little bit longer to go. Here's another one you might want to think about. Is all that built in so that I keep getting these reminders? Because that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
If we're going to be lifelong learners, we have to be reminded to learn, and that there's more formal ways to learn than, you know, street smarts, if you will.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Those are, of course, essential functionalities like getting notifications out based on progress from people. But that's, of course, a bit negatively reinforcement. So you haven't been online for a week, so we'll send you a notification to get back. But also positive reinforcements. Hey, you've just completed this. Well done. Take a look at this. But the memo trainer I was just talking about is also a functionality that's still there that people can still utilize in their courses, which sends out a notification saying, hey, your memo trainer is available for you. Click here. Just a couple of questions and you'll be done for the day. So that's something, but also sort of drip feeding. I know that Shannon Tipton, she's one of the people that I saw talking about drip feeding content, which makes sure that you get these little tiny bits over time. Different ways, bite size. There's different ways to do that, of course. So you can do it through SMS, WhatsApp, all these kind of tools, but also through a learning platform where using aNewSpring, for example, to just send out these little bites time over time, just to make sure that people spend 5 to 10 minutes every day, just practice a little bit, get something, apply something, reflect, whatever you want to achieve. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because I've talked to people and they go, well, drip learning, I mean, what is this and how does it work? And I go, if you have an iWatch, you get this notification that says it's time for you to stand up. And so you learn that you should stand up every hour, to hit some goal. I mean, so we're being programmed to learn throughout our day through micro learning opportunities. And, if you go to your website and you look at how you guys have designed things, it's really mobile first, or it looks like it's mobile first, or at least have a huge mobile component. And we're a digitized economy. We're digitized people. How important is the phone in this? And I can imagine somebody's at work, they're on their desktop, they're going to take a course. Got to go pick up the kids at school. Now I'm sitting in the school parking lot. I'm going to be here for the next hour because they have they're late getting out of school. Can I take the rest of this course on my phone? I mean, how does it work for my busy life?
Yeah, I think it depends. But I think that we see that still a lot of people use a desktop or a laptop.
Oh, yeah.
Follows these kinds of courses because they still want to have sort of work, private, kind of separate. And of course, we're targeting more the adult learning sector, the professional education. So those are people who usually have the time to learn during work, or at least get some time off for courses. But of course, we also see, with new generations that mobile learning becomes very important. So we had one of our customers who had to educate 16-year-old supermarket sort of people who fill the supermarkets or sell stuff in supermarkets, and they invent this whole course, this whole curriculum around the phone with GIFs and with flashy images, and everything was accessible through their iPhones and through an app and stuff, because that's where you reach that specific target group. So I think as a training provider who uses our technology, it's important to know your audience.
Yeah.
Where is my audience, and where do I want them to tackle this specific course? And, if you work with accountants, I can imagine that mobile, maybe not necessarily the biggest thing to focus on. They'll probably do it. Yeah. But if you want to target those Gen Z people, 16-year-olds, they probably don't even have a laptop anymore, or not because they didn't get it from their employer or whatever. They have their phones. That's their life. So you have to be there. And so I think it's important to know your audience and where they are.
Let's go. What do we aNewSpring? What's the goal? What's the strategic plan?
Be hack.
Yeah, dominate the world, dominate Netherlands. I mean, what's the talk about the future of the company?
When I started working at aNewSpring, which is more than 5 years ago, we have this big, hairy, audacious goal, the BHAG, and that's something that a lot of, I think, SaaS companies, I'm not sure if other companies have that as well, but it's a big thing in SaaS. The big thing you're striving for. And what we want to do is that we want to have 1% of the global workforce trained with our platform. And I think it's about, I don't have the numbers ready, but it's a couple of million, 10, 100, lots of millions of people that we want to train using our technology. And currently, we're not there yet. Otherwise, we would have set new goals. But training 1% of the global workforce would be really cool to achieve that at some point.
Yeah, absolutely would. And that's such a good goal and an important goal, right? I mean, this is why I love talking to individuals like yourself. I mean, these are important jobs that you all have. It's taking something that's foundational to our being, and that's learning, and creating more
proving yourself
ways to experience it as we see technology start to really dominate our worlds. And artificial intelligence is coming in, and how do we merge all these technologies and the foundation of learning and repetitiveness.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's an important part.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And I just had a talk about this last week, where we were at this conference about AI and training. And we wanted to focus on how AI impacts learning, impacts training. But I started my talk with going back to the basics. So I just became a father 5 months ago.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
And it's amazing to see the progress that a little kid makes in this short time, And I knew this. I was trained as a primary school teacher. I had children's psychology or children development as a course. So from theory, I knew how this all worked. But, seeing it in practice is just a whole different thing. But then I thought about, all right, so how does he learn? How do we learn as adults? And it's not necessarily that different. No, it's about your brain. It's about creating new pathways. It's about neurons firing. It's about practicing. It's about not being overloaded, focusing. So there's a lot of things that are similar between how children learn and develop and how adults learn in the end. So what I wanted to emphasize during that conference was that it's important to go back to those basics and to not forget about those basics about how people really learn, instead of just focusing on technology and saying, oh, this is cool, this can do that, let's implement this. Oh, let's bombard our learners with this because this looks like a cool new tool. Instead of thinking, all right, so how do people learn? What do we want to achieve? And how can this tool help us achieve our goals? So this little moment of reflection and not just going on this hype cycle, thinking about, going back to those basics, that was one of the things that I wanted to emphasize, and that I think that we as aNewSpring want to emphasize as well. So that's why we want to make sure that our technology sticks to those proven methods as well, and make sure that we add, so if, for example, when we talk about AI, we of course also want to use that in our technology to make sure that we help people learn better and to make sure that it makes the lives of the designers of courses better. But not just adding AI because we want to add AI, which we see a lot of these platforms do, to really make it useful and make impact and solve a problem. But still making sure that the basics are in order.
I love that, and I love your passion. What else do you want to say about aNewSpring to close us out, Roy? And so open mic, and after that, tell us what you see for the future of learning.
Yeah, so I just talked about the BHAG, the 1% global workforce trained. But I think it's another important objective for us is to make sure that we, with all the people that are in our community that are listening into our event, that are reading our content, to inspire them, to make sure that we get the right knowledge, the right content out, to make sure that people are willing to continuously improve their courses, not just do what they've always done, keep on doing that, but to make that 1% better every day. To look at your training, improve this little thing, and keep on iterating on what you've created to make sure that every time you help your learners learn a little bit better. And yeah, like I said, we do that using our technology. We keep on improving our technology 1% every day as well, but also with the creation of events and with sharing our content. And I will keep on sharing our story and the things that we do until everyone is creating training that really helps people learn. So I think that I'll have a job for the rest of my life.
Nice.
But if you're a learning pioneer, if you're interested in learning, feel free to join our community, join one of our events. I'm happy to see you, talk to you, and to make sure that you really help people learn.
Well, I would encourage the audience to check out aNewSpring at aNewSpring.com. They got a great website. It's pretty clear what they do and how they can help you if you're looking for more robust training programs for your workforce, no matter where you are in the world. I'm guessing they can help you. And Roy will be right on top of that. Roy, thanks for being here, man. We hope you had fun talking about aNewSpring. We appreciate your perspective.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. He's Roy de Vries. He is a learning innovator at aNewSpring. Check him out at aNewSpring.com. You've just EdUp.
Hey everybody, it's Roy de Vries, co-founder of the EdUp Experience. And hopefully you know by now that we have started our subscription-based model where we have original content, bonus content, get invites to special events. So right now it's $2.99 a month, and as of January 1st, 2025, it's going to go up to $19.99 a month. So go to edupexperience.com, edupexperience.com, look for subscribe now to lock in that lifetime EdUp Experience Founders rate. $2.99 a month, edupexperience.com, look for subscribe.
Attention.
Registration is now open for the Middle States Commission on Higher Education 2024 Annual Conference, Protecting the Future, Champions for Higher Education, December 11th through 13th, 2024 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Don't miss out. Register today at msche.org/annual-conference or head to msche.org and click on the conference link. I'll see you there. Higher ed leaders, ready to level up your marketing and enrollment strategy? Join us at Insights EDU February 12th through 14th in New Orleans. The ultimate higher education marketing and enrollment management conference is here. Take advantage of early bird prices until December 12th. Register now at insightsedu.com. Welcome to the era of the modern learner.